Hello, everyone. I'm Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too. I'm here to talk about vision boards. But first, this video is sponsored by Adobe Express. This live stream, this replay is sponsored by them. Want to be very upfront and clear and disclose that. However, do not let that discourage you. Vision boarding is really fun, and I'm really excited that this is a topic I get to talk about here on stream. It's something I've really always enjoyed, really liked, especially as I've gotten older. So, if you don't know and you're brand new, a vision board is just that. It is a way to visualize your goals in a board. A lot of people know it in its traditional sense, where you would create a actual like poster board and you would cut out magazine articles and you'd print things and you design it that way. That's actually how I was first introduced to vision boarding back in the day. But for me, that never really stuck. I'm much more of a digital person. My life is a lot of ways online, so that traditional visualization didn't work for me. So, when I got into digital vision boarding, it changed a lot for me. So that's really what we're going to be talking about today. If you want, and I highly recommend whether you're watching the replay or live with me, to make your vision board with me as we go. This is for you. And a vision board is a great way to clarify your objectives for the year, no matter what year it is. It's a great way to inspire your creativity. It can help you stay motivated. And most importantly, the way we're going to be doing it is you can make this your desktop background to keep your focus or your phone background to really hone in on what you want to achieve, whatever year it is, right? So that's kind of just a little bit of what we're going to be doing here today. If you'd like to get started and use Adobe Express, I'll have a free trial link with an affiliate link in the description. And I'm just really excited to get right into vision boarding. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I see, hi, Homekeeping Channel. Homekeeping Channel, thank you so much for being a member. I sent you an email. Please be sure to join our Discord server. I just want to make sure that we get all the value that you actually get in the membership. So just wanted to call that out. Great to see you, Homekeeping Channel. I sent it to your email that's linked on your YouTube account. Just want to make sure you're getting everything there. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this today. And we're going to go ahead and just jump into Adobe Express here. So want to make sure I share my screen. Go ahead and share my entire screen. And boom, there we go. I think this actually might work better for what I'm trying to do here. So this is Adobe Express. If you're brand new, it's what we're going to be using today for our vision board. And there are a lot of ways that you can get started. Now, I know this can look very intimidating. Adobe makes it pretty easy for you to understand. Where you can do it a couple of ways on how I want to do this today. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to search everything that they have, and you can see vision boards, vision board. I went ahead and did a little bit of research. I wanted to be prepared. So you can see that I have my vision board thumbnail. Adobe Express shows me that. I have the vision board example I'm going to use, but there are templates, there are photos, there are lots of different ways that you can get inspired. You know, you can be inspired, you can do this different ways. So if we go here on the templates, this is a great way to get started. You can see there are 33 results. If you are on the free version, again, there's a free trial link. You know, you can go ahead and sit free, so you don't have to worry about anything being paid. Highly recommended. But as you can see, there are a lot of different options for your vision board. Good to see you, Tech with Terrence, who says, "What's happening, Can Fam? We're just working on vision boarding." And if you know anyone else is just joining, it's a great way to really hone in your year in a visual way. So this is all we did. We went to Adobe Express, typed in vision board. There's a lot of different ones you could use. There are video vision boards. So this is a great example of just how you could do it in a video format. Maybe you want to share it on social in a little bit of a different way. There are the traditional vision board formats like this, where it is just a photo. This is an 8.5 by 11. So this is obviously a little bit more for maybe you want to print this out. But for me, what I want to do is I want to build off of some of the stuff I'm seeing here, right? So I went ahead and made a vision board for myself. And what I did, I showed this off, is I just went ahead and took a vision board example I like. I think this is very, well put together. I think it's pretty clear. So for me, and how we're going to do this is I'm going to use this as my inspiration. I think this is really clean, A vision board, like I mentioned, is really there to help you manifest your success and just create a visual roadmap for yourself. So, this one I thought did a really good job of that. So, it says the biggest opportunities always find their way to me. And then you post photos that kind of do that. So, I love how they have their cat, they have relax, refresh, recharge, they have coffee and like a coffee shop kind of thing, they have sticky notes. I am a magnet of abundance. They have laughter, they have a nice outfit, they have, words, quotes that really do help them. When I move, I release. So they have travel, they have do something awesome today. Shout outs to Roberto for creating something awesome, right? So for your YouTube side, the way you can do this is you go to your templates, we type here. So on the left hand side, we type in vision board. If you say, let's say you want to do this one, right? You want to put this on your Instagram story, right? You can go ahead and add this as a page. And now you can have your imagery and you can do this in a way that really does help you. So I think it's super important when it comes here that you just look at some of the things. So personal, right? What can I do that's personally for my YouTube channel, right? Career wise, what do I want to get out of my YouTube channel? Money, maybe I want to work with brands. What are different ways that you can do that? Health and fitness. So maybe these are goals you have. You can customize these, right? So if personal doesn't really work for you, maybe it's like shorts, right? We're going to make this a little bit more, I guess, YouTube focus, which is really the goal here. Money here we have, instead of money, what if we focus on, monetization? Maybe I am brand new and trying to do that. Bucket list, this could be a lot of different things, relationships. So you can really customize this. For me, I like this example, and I think that's how I'm going to build it. So I would say that this would be really a good way to like how I do it. But again, there's no right or wrong. One thing I didn't like when I was doing vision boarding when I was in school was it's weird to have a vision board be graded, which is how a lot of people I've talked to have gotten introduced to vision boards. Being graded on your goals and your own personal wants and aspirations is weird because on the one hand, it's personal. On the other hand, it's subjective, right? So there's multiple ways. Looking here at chat, Richie, I still have my Discord. Could you email our support community@kdcc.social? I'll put it in chat. Don't know what happened. I can ask the mod team through that email. So let me take a look at that. Continuing, I want to go ahead using this as my example. I think it's important to show how you can create your own, right? So I want to make my vision board be my desktop background. So I'm going to go ahead and add a custom size page. So on the top right hand corner here, hit custom size. I want this to, well, if it'll stay, that might have been on me. I want this to be 1920 by 1080 because I want this to be my desktop background. I want to be able to see this anytime I open up my computer, and then we're going to hit add page. So if I want to jump between, I can just hit the left here, takes me here. Another way I could just jump between is click these three. So I can see the vision board example, I can see this one, and it just gives me a little bit more of a visual way to see the differences between these vision boards. So with my blank canvas, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this and figure out like, what do I like of this vision board? Again, we're taking inspiration. I also want to share with you my actual list of goals because I think it's important to be transparent when it comes to vision boarding. I think that a lot of times it's super underrated when it comes to like planning, just to write things down and write things out. So this is my goals for this year. So you'll see yearly goals. Film and upload at least one video YouTube short a week, increase my YouTube channel subscribers by 30%, collaborate with other YouTubers. So this will be kind of my guiding light for these topics, right? So with the new page here, I'm going to start finding photos that really represent what I'm trying to do on YouTube. So a great way to do this is you can just go to Google, look for things, bring them into Adobe Express. You could also use Adobe stock imagery. So one of the first things I really want to do is go to media. I'll go to photos and I want to search photos. You can see things I have looked up before. One thing I really want to accomplish this year is consistency. So I think a great way to do that is just type in consistency, right? And see what shows up. I don't know if I can spell consistency. My biggest my biggest thing is just spelling. But jokes aside, right? Like there's different ways we can do it. So if you see this icon here, this just means that it is a paid photo. So I would just recommend that if you are on the free version, you just look for that like to keep in mind. So for me, I do have the paid version and there's that, free trial in the description if you want to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this consistency kind of as a key theme. If I like this, let's say I want to keep that traditional. I am the same. Thank God for spell check. Thank you, homekeeping channel. Yeah, it's something I can get better at. So I like this, but I don't know if I want this background. So I'm going to remove the background here in Adobe Express. Just click on that. And the cool thing is it should, yes, exactly that. It gives me the ability to have that consistency be in this little quadrant because this is things that help me be consistent, right? So a lot of things that help me be consistent are things like Notion. So I really like Notion. It's just a reminder to myself to do it. So as I, look or go to, I could just put in the Notion logo for me, and I think that would make a lot of sense. So it's as simple as I just typed in the Notion logo, go ahead and copy the image, hit paste, and boom, all of a sudden I have the Notion logo, right? So that's one of those things that I can do. Now you may notice that the layers here are a little weird. You can right click to, bring this to the front, and then Notion is behind it. I could have this more centralized. So as we're building out here, things that help me be consistent, we're really going to keep building on this. Another thing I want for consistency that's important for me is, calendars. I really do like calendars. They just help me keep honest. And so keeping a calendar, reminding myself to check it, having that visual really does do wonders. So I want to find maybe something that's not like a traditional calendar. I kind of like just these months here. And this just kind of is a great way for me to remind myself to check it. So I'm going to send this to the back, have it behind consistency. And don't worry if it's a little messy. There are ways that you can make this better. Like you can create a collage and then, you can definitely work on your spacing. You can work on your padding. So there are ways to do that. Obviously, that's not what I want to do. So I'm going to undo this. But if you are definitely not liking this kind of look or aesthetic, you can definitely change it. There are no right or wrong rules here. I actually might even like crop this to make it look a little bit better. So do what you like as well when it comes to this. Like I understand just by looking at this that this is a calendar. So it's really what works for you when it comes to these things. Another thing I want to remind myself to be consistent on is just show camera, right? So remind myself when I am filming or when I'm doing something filmmaking related, right? Like this is someone who is filming themselves. Just a great reminder to actually film content, create it. I think sometimes, we talk a lot about doing it and we forget to actually do the thing. So for this one, I'm actually going to rotate it so that I can see a little bit more of the camera filming the person. And this is just some things for consistency. I want one more just to kind of even it out. And yes, thank God for spell check. So the next thing we're going to be doing for my YouTube goals in consistency is, just look up, I want to do more. So maybe it's just YouTube shorts. And it can be as simple as it is just like an image like this one where it shows YouTube shorts or it shows the shorts logo. So I actually kind of like this image. I'm going to go ahead and copy this image, put it here, click this, go on the vision board, probably right here. Make it a little bit better for the vision board, I'd say. There we go. Trying to keep a little bit of, ironically, consistency here. I'll right click to bring this to the front. And then these are just ways I want to be consistent. if I highlight drag this, I can group them. And then if I want, I can make them larger, I can make them smaller. So I think consistency for now is going to be these. It's just one of those things that I want to be truthful on, I want to be honest. The next thing I think I want to focus on is community. I think this is one of those things that a lot of people confuse community and audience, and I just want to take a moment. The difference between your YouTube community and your YouTube audience is the community is the people you already have that have bought in and believe in what you talk about, what you're saying. Your audience are the people who are out there that believe in your messaging, they just haven't subscribed yet. So don't make the mistake of confusing your community for your audience, because they're two different things. And that's why it's super important to remember that. So just wanted to take that moment to kind of talk about that. So community, seeing a lot of imagery like this, seeing community written out. I can find something, maybe I put community, if I want to kind of keep this, I said pinned maybe, so maybe it shows like a pin board like that. You know, you can't always find exactly, it doesn't need to be this little pin board. It just find something that works for you. It's something I definitely believe in. So community, one of those situations, trying to find something I feel really represents it. And again, there's going to be a lot of searching, there's going to be a lot of finding. I really do have a lot of fun when it comes to doing these things. Like this one, for example, maybe it is simple as putting community like this, have this kind of be your center focus. So what do I mean by community? I have the Discord server, which is linked in the description, but I also have the community that's here on YouTube. And I want to do a lot more. So, you know, we can type in Discord, you know, we can go to images. There's lots of different things. So maybe it's as simple as just the Discord logo. And, you know, it's just a reminder to just generally include and think of that Discord community that we're growing, as well as the YouTube one. So as we're continuing on this vision boarding journey, you're going to see that this can change. We can definitely make things. So I want to make sure that I bring this to the front. I also might want to get rid of the background here once again. But it's just, again, keeping in mind that this can change, kind of like how that looks. And then if I kind of want to keep this same idea, I can go into media. I can go here and click on the, well, actually I should go to elements. So in elements, there's lots of things. So like if I wanted to frame this, for example, I could. If I wanted to frame this whole thing, I know some people like doing that. This might be something I do a little bit later, just so that I can enjoy this, but obviously it's a little early for that, so I'll delete. I just hit the delete key on my keyboard. And again, the cool thing is that a lot of this is free. A lot of what I'm showing, you know, has not had that paid icon. So if I want to kind of match this look, I could click fill, then click the eyedrop tool here, find this color, find this, bring community to the front by right clicking, and then I can just group these two together by right clicking or hitting Control G. And then instead of just community on that white background, I now have it here. And at any point I don't like this grouping, I can hit on group. You know, that's the cool thing about this, is there is a lot of flexibility. If I want maybe to round these corners, make it a little different, it's another way I can do that. And so really what I've done is just focused on my goals, right? So one of my goals is my Discord community, but it's also my YouTube community. So that is something we could just look at images. We could type in the people that are here, right? So we go back to media, photos. I could type in creator community and see what comes up. Again, the cool thing is this is using Adobe stock, so this gives you lots of different options. And if you want to look for free options, you know, just avoid this little crown. But for me, you know, I'm trying to find something that I feel fits YouTube creators a little more. Some of these kind of, some of them don't. Again, this is stock imagery, right? So I think for YouTube creator, I just am looking for, I think this one is fine. So again, if I want to kind of match that, I can just bring that over it and drag and drop. And I could maybe make community a little different than I made consistency. There again is lots of room for change, a lot of room for growth. It automatically drags and drops, so maybe I want to put this here, but obviously I'd want to see their faces, so maybe this corner here is fine, and then I send back, and then I just, adjust. So it's finding images that work, finding ways to maybe, community doesn't need to be super big. There we go. So if you're just joining us, we are talking about vision boarding and how you can visualize your YouTube goals in different ways. I like this image because it shows YouTube on the phone. It's just a reminder that a lot of my community is on mobile devices. That's something that when I talk to people, they're like, why should I focus on mobile? It's not so much that you should just focus exclusively on mobile, but it's more so that you should remind yourself a lot of people do just watch content on their phone, right? And you might see that this is not perfect, right? Like it's a little high, it's a little above. There's no right or wrong. This is our vision board. You can make it as messy as you want. You can make it as clean as you want. If I don't like some of it, like this, for example, if I don't want it behind the little Discord eyes, I just did that and I can see it's on my phone. So again, it's reminders. It is ways to help yourself visualize things, right? So consistency, we have community. Another thing when it comes to community is just remembering, right, that audience may not necessarily know your content, the new one, right? So I think that's also important as we go here. But we've gotten through quite a bit already. So the next one I want to do is maybe just to remind myself that there are a lot of different kinds of content creators. So this person is with a microphone, right? This could be a podcaster. It could just remind me that there are different people. And look at this, I'm overlapping it. It doesn't matter really because I could send backwards, send it behind there. And it's just reminding me there's different kinds of communities and that my community is content creators no matter where they come from. And I just really want to make sure that I'm helping them to the best of my ability. And this is just reminding me of the community I have. Maybe the next thing I can also remind myself is I have a lot of gaming people who join my Discord who need help. And maybe I just remind myself that that gaming content is also content, right? And it is wide, it is vast, it's a variety of games. So maybe it's as simple as just a controller here. I like this image right here because it's just, controller, keyboard, headset. I also just kind of like some of these that just remind me that my audience and my community are filled with people who need help because I'm focusing on making content creation easy. So my community has a lot of gamers on the Discord. That's also just kind of a natural byproduct of Discord in general. So maybe instead of gaming, I type in controller, right? And again, you'll know what makes sense for you. I actually really like this controller. I think it's very nice. Right click to send backwards. Now, if you don't like that way of editing, you can also click in the top right hand corner here. Click on the layers and you can see different ways you can drag and drop visually if you're more of a visual person. Really do what works for you here. And for community, I think I'm pretty okay with this. So I'm going to hover over this group, make it match that so that I have a little bit of consistency between them. So joking aside, but consistency, community, and we're building, we're growing. And if you're watching, what are your goals for YouTube and how do you want to achieve them, right? So for me right now, we have consistency, I have community. The next one I'm going to put is I want to do more at events. I feel like that is something that a lot of creators on YouTube want to do. Sometimes, they forget about it. I'm guilty of that too. But I want to go to more events. I think they're always super helpful in learning things and, looking here, news and events, events right here, and kind of this pin format I'm going for. So really, I think it's just doing what you are looking to do. I see from the MMA holes, my goal is world domination. Put that down and then put it in your vision board of how you want to accomplish that. Maybe it's through your content. Maybe it is through, fighting, whatever. I say that because MMA, but do whatever makes sense for you. So we started here. I've cropped the image by clicking the crop tool here. And then I'm going to remove this background, kind of keeping in theme with some of the other ones I have here. So events is the next one. For me, events can be in person. They can be virtual. I think a lot of times people make the mistake when it comes to event planning for YouTube that it has to be in person. I know that since the, panini, if you know what that means, a lot of people have done virtual ones, and I've made a lot of connections in virtual events that really played well in person. So I highly recommend considering them. So that is something I want to do. So when it comes to events, I would love to speak, right? That's something I've done in the past. I'd like to do a little bit more of. So, I mean, I can get, just if I really wanted to, maybe I just look at some of the speaking I've done in the past to remind myself, hey, you've done this before. It's not your first rodeo. So I'll just pull up my Instagram. A great example is this here. This is when I was a moderator. So just a friendly reminder, I do have this photo somewhere. Shout outs to who did actually take this photo, which is the Carlos Cepeda. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that. So we had a lot of different people who took, it could have also been, Daniel Patrick Norton, or it could have also been Creator Fundamentals. I can't remember who exactly took it, but shout outs. I know one of you did, and I do appreciate you. So yep, that is me hosting a panel. So just a reminder to myself, really, that I've done this before, that it doesn't have to be too hard. And to do it visually, I'll move the layers here. And now events is above it. I love meeting sponsors at events. So that's something also I want to consider, is I want to meet more tools, right? I met Streamyard at events. I've met, I used to work at TubeBuddy, so I used to help the TubeBuddy booth. There's so many different people you can meet. So maybe I just type in like conference and see what shows up. Maybe convention would have more. Again, you just gotta remember which ones they are. There we go. Now I don't know, maybe if I do convention booth, again, keeping in mind, I'm just using this so that I have an easy way. Another great event I went to was Adobe Max. Shout outs to them. I've been to Vid Summit, one of my favorite events, social media marketing world. There's a lot of events. So, if you're wanting to go to events for your specific niche, going to the MMA holes. I see the MMA holes. Speaking of, you have kids, they definitely make it tricky. And, maybe that goes into consistency, right? You want to consistently spend time with your kids. You can put in your consistency category. There's a lot of different ways to still do this, even with kids, right? Maybe you do a vision board with your kids. That could definitely be fun. And see, Homekeeping Channel says Vid Summit is one of my goals. So for you, ironically, this photo for me is from Vid Summit. So I would say have the Vid Summit logo, right? So we go back here, we type in Vid Summit logo. That could just be the goal. Or you can do Vid Summit 2024, right? Or whatever year it is for you. And there's different ways you could do that. So really do what makes sense for you. Shout outs to Vid Summit, great event. And so that's one of those things that you could easily do that helps your vision board, puts it on there, and doesn't really take too much time out of what we're already doing. So I think this is the closest I can get to a booth, but the thing is, I like my imagery to be clear. I think that's super important when you're doing here. So when you're visualizing your success, it is important to be clear and also be positive, right? These are your aspirations. I see so many people so many times just be so hard on themselves that, I haven't reached my goals. This is supposed to be fun. It's something we're doing to visualize this. Don't be too hard on yourself. The year is short yet long. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, I don't like this image. I'm just going to click this image right here to replace it. Maybe find a little something better. I was looking hopefully for a booth, but then I got to remember, right? I go to events. Maybe I have a photo from my Google Photos. There's nothing wrong with using photos of stuff you actually did or went to, right? So that's something I can remind myself, hey, wait, you went to an event this year. You did take photos. Maybe you can take a photo from that event you were at. So looking here, did I take one at the booth? I think I did. I did. Well, actually, this was taken by my good friend Aaron. It is a video, so sorry if you heard that. Here we go. This is me and good people at Streamyard. So shout out to Streamyard making this possible. So I would like to meet, more people at booths. Don't want to crop out Owen. Shout out to Owen Video. But then, like, this image again isn't perfect. Just gonna keep working on it to make it fit my vision for this, right? So that I can see myself at the booth. I want to be in more booths. Bring that in a little bit closer. Have myself at an event. And then boom. There's that. Keep events up top. Just reminding myself what I want to do. I've met lots of different creators over the years at events, which has been a lot of fun. So that's something I'd like to do more of. So I will definitely include like this image of, me and some friends at the event, or maybe it's me and just a selfie, right? Remind myself to do that. And that's actually reminds myself to be more consistent at taking photos. Ironically, I'm not good at taking photos at events, but I always enjoy it. Like, that's the worst part. I always forget to just do the thing that I'm kind of there to do, which is to enjoy it and spend time at the event. So I want to get better at, taking more photos and being present in doing that. It's kind of hard to both be present yet take photos, but it is one of those things I want to get better at. And this is just that friendly reminder of myself to do that. Because like I always go to events and I always just freaking forget to take photos. And it feels bad, man. It feels really bad because I'm like, crap, I was at this event and I took no photos. And again, I can crop this if it doesn't fit. Like, I know that's me, so that's fine. But again, it's just a reminder. It's being kind to yourself, yet honest. Now, the next one I would recommend you do, and if you are making a vision board and following along, be sure to share it in my Discord. I'd love to share this with the folks at Adobe. We're doing this together. Homekeeping Channel says, that's me. Asking everyone for the pics. That's actually something I could get better at doing myself, is just asking people for the pictures we take. If you're just joining us, we are talking about vision boarding. We are talking about how to be consistent and clear on your goals. Vision boarding is a great way to visualize, be consistent, and manifest what you want to do in the year. Right now, I've talked about what I want to do, which is be more consistent, be more community focused, and do more at events. So again, these are reminders for myself. I'm using this as a great example, right? So as I look here, there are different ways. So like the biggest opportunity is always find a way. I am a magnet for abundance. When I move, I release. One thing I associate with when it comes to events is travel, right? And I really enjoy traveling. So I also want to travel to a new place. I would love to go to a new event, right? So I'm going to go back to media and I'm going to travel, see what shows up. It could just be planes. It could be different things. But I want to travel somewhere new. I want to experience something that is different from what I'm used to when it comes to events. So this to me definitely screams travel, and it kind of reminds me of LA with the photos at the bottom there. I just want to travel more because I don't feel like I'm doing myself a great service by not. And I feel like there's so much you can learn out there, so many different places. So I just want to make sure I remind myself to travel outside of my comfort zone, especially when it comes to events. I definitely get guilty of not doing that. And another event I want to go to, and I go to this one every year, is VidCon. I've been to VidCon Australia. I've been to VidCon US multiple times. So just a reminder, go back to VidCon, have fun at it. Just another event I want to go to. Maybe also, though, I post, I want to go to Adobe Max. There's so many events I can go to, so I'm just going to go ahead and copy this image. welcome to VidCon. Show that here, crop it out to the basics of what it is, and then maneuver this to where it makes sense. Again, I'm having a lot of fun with this. That's what you're supposed to be doing with your own. Although, might make VidCon a little bit better. Gonna highlight all of these again to group. And if you're watching, just joining us, be sure to consider making a vision board for yourself. This is so much fun to do. It really keeps you focused. And so the next one I want to do is talk about, when it comes to this, there's a couple gaps here. So maybe, I can have fun with this. This isn't done yet, by the way. We have a little bit more we can go, but this is going to be my desktop background. This is going to remind me to do all these things. I want to focus on YouTube specifically, right? So for those of you who do not know, YouTube has goals in themselves, right? There are milestones. So they're like TubeBuddy is a great example. They have TubeBuddy milestones. Tube Spanner has milestones, sponsor of the channel here. And I want to, reach some of them. I talked about writing out your list before you do this. One of them is 30%, right? So I started the year at 12K subs. So 12K, what is 30% of 12K, right? What is 30% of 12,000? Someone who's smart out there. So that's 36. So I'd end the year with 15,600 subscribers, which is not out of the realm of possibility for me. And it's one of those things that I will be doing. I see from Homekeeping Channel, it's looking good. I will do mine tomorrow. Never had one. So again, vision boarding is so much fun. And if Homekeeping Channel, since now I know you're in the Discord, I'll make sure to share this with you there too. And obviously the replay and recording will be there. If you're just joining us, and I see that we have a lot of new people here, I see that we have 10 votes. A majority seem to have not created a vision board before. Very interesting. So with that, let's go ahead and talk about more YouTube. So I want to maybe look for YouTube. Maybe it's just the logo. I think I know what I need to do. I'll just get the YouTube actual logo here because I want to talk about my YouTube goals, which we have a little bit here. So I'll just look up YouTube logo. I'm going to copy this image. So now we're focusing a little bit more specifically on YouTube. Ooh, don't want to do that. YouTube itself. I want to kind of match the size here to maybe this. So that's about what it is. And again, now if I want to, I can use some of the shapes. I can do some of the other stuff. Definitely going to check that out. And the media card suggestion from the other day, tomorrow is going to be busy. Yeah, especially with vision boarding. Like one thing you can do, and I've actually loved when creators, I've had a few creators do this when in my time at TubeBuddy. They showed me their goals, and the fact that TubeBuddy was on their vision board was always impressive to me. I'm like, wow, you really want this. And like that is one of those things a vision board can do. It really shows what you want. And like that's the fun too, right? Because how many times can you easily share with people what you want to do, what you want to build? And that's what a vision board is. So don't just follow along with me, make your own. I can't stress that enough. I really do appreciate everyone who's joining, everyone who's chatting. It's one of those things where it is so much fun to just go ahead and do. And I can't, stress that enough when it comes to everything on YouTube. So now I'm going to go back to elements. If I don't want to use one of these and maybe I want to do a design asset, I could maybe type in pushpin and see what comes up. Maybe there are already some design elements, and look at here, there kind of are. So I could take this, crop it down, keep the idea. Yeah, I can. Perfect. Then have YouTube show above. And then maybe for this one, I just group YouTube in it. I kind of like this push pin idea I have going here. So that's why I kind of kept that idea going. So for YouTube, right? My first goal was to grow 30%. So I want to, make that something I can reach for. How can I do that? Great question. Uh, well, there's a couple ways. I said, so you could do, TubeBuddy. I could do other ones, but I think for me, I'm just gonna look up 15,000 subscribers, right? See what happens if I look that up in media. So 15,000 subscribers. Pretty sure nothing's gonna come up, but maybe I try this. There's AI that you can use within Adobe. So if you can't find it, maybe you can come up with it. So I'm gonna make this a widescreen text to prompt. Show 15,000 YouTube subscribers. Again, if I can spell. But this is now going to make something I have no idea what it's going to come up with. We're going to see in real time the beauty of using AI. If you're watching out there, be sure to hydrate. This is why AI is not always perfect. We tried. All right, well, I don't know if I could use any of these, but maybe if I just go back to the good old Google, 15,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm sure someone has posted something like it. Not really, I would say, but maybe there's a way that I just type in 15K. Maybe I just look up that. But again, you never know what you'll get with AI. 15K. All right, here we go. 15,000. Maybe I should have just led with that, but we tried to show features. I don't know if I would have a party per se if I had it, and then I'll put this below here. But it is something I want to achieve, something I want to get done. So for me, that 15,000 is the reminder that this is a goal. This is a dream, right? So like, I'm very lucky to be doing this. So just something to keep in mind as I'm doing it myself. 9 people watching. Thank you so much. Very, very happy to do that. So I want to do more live streaming. That's something I want to do when it comes to YouTube. So I definitely enjoy doing it. I would say it's probably one of my favorite things is this real-time communication. An example that we have. So what looks like live streaming to me? Maybe, actually I really like this setup that is done in this image. So more live streaming. Definitely something I want to do. Put this here. Yeah, more live streaming. And it's funny because live streaming for me wasn't always a goal for YouTube, but it is now. So 15,000 live streaming. I want more comments. That's something I want to encourage more. I want to leave more comments and I want to get more comments. And I am bad about leaving comments. So this is something I'm going to be working on, is giving others feedback in terms of comment form. I usually do like channel reviews and things like that, but I'm really bad about leaving comments. So I'm going to put getting and leaving comments with a bullhorn. Hey, comments. I think this one is definitely going to be, for me, one of the more important ones that I work on just in general. We all have our weak points, I'm sure, when it comes to YouTube and reminding ourselves to do things. So comments is one. Something else I want to work on. So a lot of people may not know this, but I actually, for my job, I want to earn a diamond play button, which I really think I could. It's not super challenging out of the way for what I do there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a diamond play button. That is in the realm of possibilities for me within this year. So at my work, definitely want to try to get that, earn another diamond play button in my time. So we have YouTube. I also want, I want to grow my memberships. That's something that we're launching a little bit more, something I'm actively working on. So I want to continue to provide value. I already kind of have, a pretty good roadmap, but channel memberships are something that I definitely want to keep growing on. I've had a lot of people ask me about them. So I'm going to go and put YouTube channel memberships. Maybe I even move this over here so that I can have channel memberships be a little bit more present over here. And then I want to bring this back to the front. That's kind of the big goals when it comes to this year is, and I mean, again, I can add to this. It may not be just this simple. It could be more. Like, I reminded myself to take more photos when I was talking about consistency over here. So this is just one of those things. I'm going to group this now. Actually really enjoying how it's starting to look. And maybe I just make it a little bit bigger for myself here. So we make consistency, we make this a little bit bigger, cover up a little more space. Events over here. And I can also change the order. So like, just because I thought of them, this doesn't necessarily mean this is the exact order I'm going to follow this by. A little bit more space, a little bit more, a little bit more. There we go. So we have consistency, community, events, YouTube. Well, what's next? Let's go back to our goals, right? Richie Reed says, I feel like live streaming is not the way it used to be. I feel YouTube Shorts is killing live stream and long format videos. I think YouTube Shorts is definitely something that is its own beast, its own thing. I think that YouTube Shorts, that's actually something thinking of YouTube Shorts is something I want to do more of, right? So that's in my consistency. I would say YouTube Shorts are their own beast. I think that the audience you build is going to definitely dictate what you're interested in. Shorts, as I've learned literally today as the time of streaming this, is a broad reaching appeal thing. Niching in it might limit your views. I know a lot of people get discouraged when they have like really good burst of views in shorts and then it dies. So YouTube Shorts is new. Be kind to yourself on them. I do think that if you don't enjoy shorts, you don't have to make them. I do think they're a great way to reach new people that you may not have reached otherwise. I've had a few like people who've joined every stream who've joined just from shorts. So it's really what you do. So something to think of. Google Reviews UK, shout outs to you. Very active in the Discord as well as just an overall really awesome channel. So we're just doing vision boarding, having a lot of fun here. Talked about consistency, community, events, YouTube. The next one I want to do more of is collaborate. I feel like I am too walled off, and this is my fault. No one is telling me I can't. I just feel like I am not as collaborative as I used to be. I think the pandemic kind of, made things a lot more isolated, and so I want to be a little bit more collaborative, I guess is the correct way to say that. Well, this is actually partnership is good for later. This is something I want to do more is I want to be a better partner. I want to earn more partnership opportunities for myself and others. So I'm going to save this for later as a pin. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little smaller. And Richie Reed, I looked into it. I don't think you were banned. You may have been kicked because we were doing pruning and our system kicked anyone who didn't talk outside of certain sections. So if you were accidentally hitting that, I am very sorry. But if you join back, we can make sure everything is right. Just remember, if you're on the Discord, just a little side note, to talk everywhere because sometimes when bots are not great at understanding who is where. So looking here. Oh no, I'm not seeing anything for collaborative. Collaboration maybe? See, it might be too abstract of an idea. Looks like it. You know what? Let's add text. I'm going to add my own text. Collaboration. We're going to steal this. We're going to move it here. We're going to ungroup this, the YouTube one, so that I can actually find this YouTube group if I want, because I have this inner group. Ooh, apparently I ungrouped those two. So I have these two grouped again. I can duplicate this, put this back here where it goes. And then, oh, it's in the same, so I have to ungroup these groupings. Ah, well. I had an idea. Ended up being a little bit more work. I just hit Control Z to get out of that. So what I will do is go ahead, click duplicate. Now, hopefully, good. It did not group like I wanted. Make YouTube a little bit smaller here so that I have more room. I'm grouping all of these back together so that it's just a little easier. And then from here, I'm going to ungroup this. So again, we use the group function so that it was easy to have these two things together. But now I want to delete YouTube, replace YouTube with collaboration, which is the next pin I really want to focus on. Maybe I can make this. So if I hit dynamic here, it should match the different things that I'm trying to do. Maybe not. It's super well. So I kind of like this font, but it's not perfect. Adobe Express he wants to delete YouTube. Yeah, I don't think that'd be a smart thing for me to do on account of my whole career's on YouTube. Dr. Elo, great to see you. If you have not checked it out, Dr. Elo was on the stream last week. Great to see you. We're working on vision boarding, and this is a great chance if you're just joining. Vision boarding is a great way to just visualize what we can do. And so I'm using Adobe Express. If you have never used it, it's a very great free tool. There's also a paid version, but we're really just focusing on manifesting our goals for YouTube. And right now what I'm working on is creating my next one. So I said I want to be more consistent. I want to focus on my community. I want to go to more events, and I want to, do more at events. I want to speak at events. I want to see more booths. I want to travel. I want to go back to VidCon. I want to take more photos. So it's just reminding me what I want to do. So for this text, I don't really like it, but I'm just going to try to find similar designed layouts. So this is the layout, and it's similar fonts. It's using Adobe fonts. Maybe it's something like this. Better. I think this is a little better for what I'm going for. Trying not to have it spill over. Make it just a little bit tinier. And then I can actually crop some of this pin. There we go. Now that I like how that does look, group it, shrink it. And now we can work on collaboration, right? So Dr. Elo joins. And ironically, because of that, that's something more I want to do of. So shout outs to Dr. Elo. I want to collaborate more. I want to have more people on my channel. I constantly get people who invite me to their channels, and I feel like I've done a really bad job of being an equal collaborator, and I want to change that. And I have the power to. So that's why I'm going to put collaboration on my vision board. It's also goes into my YouTube goals, just to collaborate in general more. And I think that's one of those things that super easy to do, but it's just reminding myself. I forget. And that's why I like a vision board. It's so visual. It's right in my face, hard to forget. And I think that's one of those things that helps a lot when it comes to these things, is just reminding yourself visually. And this is going to be my new desktop background, right? And so that's one of those easy things, like I said, that I'm not doing enough of, that there's no real reason. I'm just not doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my collaborative thumbnail here that I did with Dr. Elo. That was just fortuitous that you joined. Just reminds me. Another thing I can do, right, is maybe Streamyard's a huge way that I can collaborate virtually. I don't always have to be in person. In my head, I got into this bad habit of thinking if I collab, it's got to be in person. It really doesn't. So just something else to think of. And so now, went full screen there, just show a little bit more of the board. Actually, I think this is where we're at now. If I wanted to show off the vision board a little bit more. Not bad, not bad. This is what it looks like in full screen. If I shrink it down, not bad. Very good. Happy with what we got so far. Gonna continue working on it. So with that, Don't want to cut off Dr. Elo. What else can I do in collaboration? Maybe, I can remind myself other ways I can collaborate. So maybe that is just as simple as StreamYard. I can have a live stream. I can remind myself that StreamYard is a great way to actually collaborate with people. I have a way to do it. Why not? Kind of thing, So we have StreamYard. Put that down a little bit more. Make it a little bit bigger. Other ways I can collaborate. You can do pass off collaboration. So it's like you set up the idea and you pass it off. So we're going to go back to media, and maybe I'll do pass baton, like baton kind of pass. It just reminds me that that's a way you can do it. This one is a free example. Looks pretty good too. Passing over the ability to work together. StreamYard, a great way to do it. Remind myself of other ways. Start a whole channel with another creator, LOL. That's a little bit more than I think I want to do. But I think, having more people on. Also good to see, Richie Reed, that you're back. So sorry about that. We're not perfect. We did make a mistake. I'm glad that you joined back, and I'm sorry that did happen. For those of you who don't know, Discord is, we're still learning. Community is on here for Discord for a reason. Accidentally kicked someone who was active, and I'm sorry about that. That was not our goal. We'll make sure to make it a little more clear in the future. So, and the next one we're going to do for collaboration, maybe podcast. I know a lot of my friends do podcasts. Maybe I consider, shouting out more of their podcasts, sharing them out more. So that's something easily that I could do that I don't feel like I really am doing a great job at. So podcast is something I want to do a little bit more for. I think this image really reminds me of podcasting. Gives me just maybe try to promote other people's podcasts a little bit more. See what podcasts are out there that really fits what I'm doing. And like here, right? StreamYard should probably not get lost. So I could put StreamYard there. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. And then maybe see if I could, maybe partnership I do put under here, or I find something. But like, I would like to help, some of my friends, some of my partners. Like a great example is Pico Space Industries in our server was able to get, some stuff just by connecting people. I want to help connect more people. So maybe it is connections. Like I want to help connect people to great brands. And that's something I really do care about. So what is something that reminds me of connection? I'm trying to find something. Yes, very helpful connection. Well, no, you do all the hard work. You have great stuff and great content. I'm just happy to help. And that you see, this is why I love going live. You've helped me on my vision board. Trying to find that connection. Maybe it's connector. Maybe it's like a handshake. We have a baton pass. Maybe it's like handshake. All of these are so corporate. Trying to find a, I guess, non-corporate. Maybe I type in friendship. Yeah, there's no right or wrong. Trying to figure out how to get this done. Connection. I kind of like the hand holding. Kind of like the. There we go. I like that. That's a form of connection in my opinion. And again, don't want to lose StreamYard under this. There we go. StreamYard's still a part of it. Remind myself another way to collaborate and make connections. And then, don't want partnerships in that. Well, That's going to be the last one. But honestly, partnerships might go in collaboration. It might be very similar in that way. Again, still working on building out the vision board. Nothing is perfect, doesn't have to be. I feel partnerships and collaboration are very similar here, so maybe we choose another one here. So our final one, as we're still going here, and if you're unaware, highly recommend you build your own vision board, share it in our Discord community, and if you do, within, definitely can review it and you can help, we can talk about it. It's one of those things that's really nice just to do. So we have our consistency goals, our community goals, our events, our YouTube collaboration. I'm going to add the last section. I'm going to call it personal development, right? Because truly, for me, by not working on yourself and investing in yourself, right, none of this matters if we're not working on improving ourselves one little thing at a time. So, like personal growth, I like all of this. Let's see. Maybe it's personal growth instead. Personal growth pinned, maybe. Time to raise your game. Not too late. Can't wait to do mine now. And that's what, if I do anything, it gets you excited, right? I always say, if I can, you can too. And I mean it. I love doing this stuff because it just reminds you, this is fun. It is so much fun to do these things. And it actually does help you towards your goals because, heck, I have my yearly goals. Again, shared them a little bit earlier through my Notion here. And, I have yearly goals for personal, dating. I really work on these things. So, like, one of the things I want to do is become an Adobe community expert. That's something I would love to do. One of the things I want to do is connect with brands for potential sponsorship, collaborative, engage my community by hosting live streams. Like, all of these I'm doing is just in different ways to get this done, right? And it's from this list that I have that I'm visualizing, right? So my personal development goals, right? Like my building on myself, like maybe it is change my mindset, lessons learned, it's not too late. I kind of like it's not too late. I often say that to creators. Oop, personal development is nice, but I feel like this one will remind me of the personal development the most. I see so many times creators tell me, it's too late to join YouTube. It's too late to tell it's never too late, truthfully. Got some challenges and see what else I can do. Absolutely. And that's fun. That's the fun of this. It's not too late. It's our last little one here in our pin board. So one of the things I want to challenge myself with, right, is I want to actually understand a website that I've been told my whole career I should be on, but I'm just not. And I guess it's my own fault. I know it, but it's not too late. And so if you're wondering what that is, it's Pinterest. I have been told countless times that I'd be great on Pinterest. Never really knew what that meant, but it's not too late to try and join. So that's one of those things that I just want to do, want to join, want to become part of, want to get better at it, understand it more. It excites me too. Like, it's one of those things. Similarly, I want to actually do more with my Instagram. So maybe it's just as simple as taking this. I want to get better at Instagram. I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have so many friends that know what they're doing there. So I could just ask. It's not too late. Next thing, fitness. I want to get back into it. I've fallen off hard. Pandemic was challenging for a lot of us. And definitely not something I've been doing to the most of what I used to do. I used to work out almost, 5 days a week. If I walked twice or 3 times in a week, I'm proud of myself these days. It's all small battles. It's just something I want to work on. I want to get back into it. So maybe I do weights. Maybe it's something that would definitely help me. Ooh, fitness like this. That's helpful for me. Again, it's for yourself, right? So not too late to get back into fitness. My Instagram, I want to get on Pinterest. Maybe next one I want to do is I still want to be learning, right? Ooh, I know. I want to actually learn Lightroom. I understand Photoshop pretty well. I've never really taken the time to dive into Lightroom. And you can bring Lightroom product like things into Adobe Express. I don't actually use it as much as I used to. So Lightroom is something I want to personally challenge myself to get better at and use. I hear all the time it's great, and yet I feel like I'm not using it. So it's one of those things I can easily do just to get better at. And so Lightroom it is. And actually that helped me with probably my Instagram, that helped me with my Pinterest, it helped me with all of it, I think. And with that, I mean, I can group all this together and I can shrink it a little bit, make it a little bit easier for myself. This is what I want to do on my YouTube. And as I see here, definitely have some space I can fill. I want to do this for myself. And if you're watching, you should do this for yourself. I want to make this my goals, right? Now my background color here is this, so I could, change this to be like red. I could change this to be green. I could keep it white. I could keep, make it blue, whatever is the most helpful for me. I kind of like it in the white, but I think it'd be very visually busy for me on my desktop background here. So now I can ungroup this if I want now, and then go back to the individual groups in it. And we can maybe clear some of the space, make some things larger. So really, we're just fine tuning this last little bit here. I want to take away that just so it's a little bit better. Gonna group this. Maybe for the Streamyard, and I'll make it that color. If I want, I could make it maybe this black. Maybe I do keep it white. Or maybe I make it this black. I don't know. Kind of like it in the white, but I feel like it'd get tiring on my eyes, so I'll make it this darker color. And then I could also just go back here, right? Like, what's the color background they use? Could just be white, and I just have like make it look a little bit more like that. Again, we're just designing, having fun. Dark gray looks good. I kind of agree. I think I'm going to keep on the dark gray. And then I think I'm going to take this text from this file, which is cool. You can do this yourself. Copy. And then you go over here. Again, if you want that, you can look it up. I just typed in vision board. It was one of the templates. Oh, a little bit bigger than I want. Why are you so big? Okay, let's try it another way. I want to do this. No. I'm just going to delete it. Try again by copying these two. Group those three. Copy the group. See what happens if I bring it over again this time. Wonder why it's not letting me. I'm sure there's just something I'm missing, but I'm just wasting time at that point. So I'm just going to remake it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But if I want maybe like a texture or something, right? There's abstracts and textures here. If I want to maybe help myself stand out a little bit, there's some like things I could type in here. I could go into the elements and look at some of the textures here. So maybe if I want it to feel like poster board, I could type in poster board and see if anything shows up. Oh, definitely think I'll just take that. I don't know why. Don't know what happened there. Okay. If I want to emulate that paper feel, like I said, or want to make it feel like it's paper, that's it. That's my vision board. It's perfect. Definitely not going to right click and send that to the back at all. But maybe I make the opacity like a little more, make it more screen, don't make it like super noticeable, but I know it's there. It's just a texture, help it look a little bit better. And now I'm just going to go, maybe I just take vision board, the text, and look at it. So it's just Montserrat, which is actually my brand font. So that's easy for me. So add my text, go here. Should be Montserrat extra bold. Vision board. And there we are. Not much more than that we need to do. And I highly encourage you to share your vision board. If I want to align this, center, I can. Now that's my vision board for the year. These are the things I want to do. If I want to, I could add in, vision board in the media and see what shows up. I haven't actually, it might just be like the word vision board. But it's about, life is about creating yourself. There we go. Maybe we just take that very simple message and we shrink it down a bit, put it in the center as kind of our final reminder here. Like what we do here, it's about what we create, right? And life is about creating yourself in many different ways. That's our vision board. I'm very happy with it. If you have been following along, I highly recommend that you join via the link in the description our Discord so you can share your vision board. You can share it in the general chat there. Love to see it. We'd love to help, make some of those dreams a reality. We have a great community. Final look at my vision board here. I'm just going to download it by clicking here, save it as a PNG. It's going to download, and now it's going to be my new desktop background. So I'm excited to talk about vision boarding. Thank you all so much for who have watched and joined. I really want to see your vision boards. Thank you to Adobe Express for sponsoring. If you have any questions, comments about vision boards, please be sure to leave them down below. Appreciate all of you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.